So, Foodie Beauty had a whole bunch of non-tent lately. I mean, not that her content or her live streams are ever exciting or really offering much at all. This has to be one of the worst ones she's had in a while. She was complaining yet again that she still doesn't feel good. She claims it's still from, her increased dose of her Ozempic. So she was out scooting. She says it took her 2 hours to go through all the foods she could think of and everything she thought of. Made her feel like she wanted to, as she calls it, yak. So she finally decided on some chicken and rice and plantains, she tells us. And she's out, wants to just go scooting. She's not sure where she wants to go, but we all know the purpose of her going out scooting. And of course, that's so she can smoke. I swear that's all this woman thinks about is food and smoking. That's it. So she reminds us that today, the 12th, Sunday, is BG's birthday. So I can hardly wait to see what kind of shenanigans she's going to have today. I can only imagine. She was talking about buying a cake for BG, and of course she would eat the cake. She didn't mention whether or not she put the Libre 2 back on her arm yet. I think if she's planning on having cake, which you know she's going to because it's the cat's birthday, the cat's turning 1, she's not going to want to see what that does to her sugar. No way. Because she's in such a denial about what she eats, how badly it affects her sugar. She is in complete denial still. So after she's outside smoking, she comes back in, and she's stealing on her couch. As usual, her usual position. I swear she's going to eventually melt into this couch and become part of this couch as much as she sits on it and seals. And she starts moving around, gets this horrible look on her face, and she says, "Oh, I'm sorry, I have a rash, I have chub rub." I'm a big girl. I'm familiar with quote-unquote chub rub. And getting chafed, and in these summer months especially, sweating. I'm very familiar. I've dealt with this my whole life. I've been big my whole life. But it's not something I'm going to discuss with, as much as I love y'all. I'm not going to sit here and discuss it with you. Just like I don't understand how she could just discuss it with thousands, well, actually just hundreds, because she has not been getting very many views on her when she's streaming on Kick. The other day, she went all the way down to about 150 people watching. The day that she hated Canada, hated everything. Yeah, she lost a lot of people that day. But, getting back on subject, I'm not going to talk about chub rub. But, Foodie will talk about anything, any kind of bodily function, which then leads her into talking about wiping butts, let's say. She's talking about how, it stinks, poop stinks. Well, hello, it's waste. And she's talking about, maybe, like if her mom or her sister or Salah became ill, that she could take care of them, but someone else would pretty much have to take care of them, and she would try to help as she could. Now, what kind of love is that? If you truly, truly love somebody, my husband, if he ever was incapacitated to where he needed help after using the restroom, I'm going to do it. And I'm not going to think twice about it, because that's my husband. My kids, my mother, yeah, I'm going to do it if I ever had to. But she says someone else would basically have to do it, and she would just help where she could. What brought this up, I have no idea. And then she gets to talking about the lady that was throwing up on the train weeks ago. She's still on that. Rosie's still living rent-free in her head. They don't tell you the price you pay. That is so old already. That documentary has been over with for a month now. And Chantal is still making fun of Rosie about this. Get over it. There is so much stuff that people could make fun of Foodie Beauty for. I mean, just the chub rub, for example. People could clip that, making a meme of her saying, "Oh, I have chub rub." Her laugh is something else, let me tell you. And then she gets to talking about she hates seeing people kiss. It's just disgusting. In movies, in person, anywhere. She cannot stand seeing people kiss. She's mentioned this before. I don't understand what her aversion to this is. What is so disgusting about two people kissing? I mean, I can understand, very intimate scenes in movies. That can make some people uncomfortable. I get it. I mean, myself, it doesn't bother me. It's part of life. When you're grown, you're in a relationship, that's part of life. I mean, the only thing I can think that bothers her so much is because she's not, getting kisses or having any intimacy in her life currently. But you know what? I'm not 100% convinced of that either. Because like I said, I think she is secretly seeing the ex. I am standing by that. I think she's got to be. As much as she talks about that man, there's feelings there at the very minimum. But anyways, yeah, she can't stand to see people kissing. And then, she's pretty burnt, as she calls it, from smoking, while she's stealing on the couch. And all of a sudden she pauses, and she comes back, and she's completely winded. And she says, I gotta go, I gotta pay attention to my cat. I gotta give my cat some attention. I gotta go, I gotta pay attention to my cat. She's giving me all the signs. She just got caught in a bag. And I had to chase her around and get the bag off her. I gotta go, I gotta take care of my cat. And she's out of there. It was so strange. I really think that Foodie Beauty is regressing. The more we see, the more immature she's getting. And she's to the point where she has nothing left to talk about except what she thinks is funny, like bodily functions, bathroom habits. She thinks that stuff is funny. Like a little kid that laughs if you say the word poop. That's Foodie Beauty. I don't know. She does need some help. I'm convinced of it. And I really don't even think she should be living alone at this point. Because I'm quite certain she's not keeping up on her hygiene. And her apartment, her kitchen, how? One person. It's one person. How does one person make such a mess? She'll have her counter just piled up with garbage because she doesn't have an actual garbage can. You're spending money on DoorDash every day, but you can't buy a garbage can. I don't know. So we'll have to see what she does today for this big birthday celebration for BG the cat. So, tomorrow I'll have all the details on that. Until then, let me know your thoughts.